What is up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, and I had a big question, and that is who is going to dethrone Roman Reigns? It's a very good question. A lot of people are curious as to who could be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns, and whoever does it, it's going to be a big, massive push. Like whoever it is going to be the top player in the game. Like at this point, whoever does it is going to be a star, bar none. But the question is, who will do it? Now, for obvious reasons, it's not going to be Daniel Bryan because as of right recording, Daniel Bryan is forced to leave SmackDown because he lost to Daniel Bryan or to Roman Reigns once and for good. And it seems that Roman Reigns is moving on to face Cesaro. So, will Cesaro be the one to dethrone him? And to that, I'm going to be honest, no, I don't see it. I think Cesaro and Roman Reigns will have a good to great, fantastic match at WrestleMania Backlash. I can't believe that's what it's called. But as far as someone who's sticking around to like be the top player, there is something that I have always argued about Cesaro being the world champion, and that's plain and simple. He hasn't been the IC champion yet. Because think about it, if Cesaro wins, he goes on a solid run. Do you really see him staying in the world title picture once he loses that Universal Championship? So no, unfortunately, I do not see Cesaro being that guy. And I'm okay with that. At least this will give Cesaro a chance to show off who he is and like be seen in the title picture. So that will be great. That is always a good story. Plus, it's Paul Heyman and Cesaro finally doing the feud that we've always wanted, Cesaro and Paul Heyman. So can't really get mad at that. Another option that people are saying is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins could possibly be it. Seth Rollins could easily be a teammate with Roman Reigns, and then down the road, eventually, Roman Reigns gets too egotistical, Seth Rollins loses it, and he becomes the face. Now, the problem with this one is that if we do it, I feel like naturally people will turn on Rollins and make Roman Reigns the babyface, and I don't know if that's necessarily what the WWE wants. If they do, that's great, but is it what they really want to do? Think about that. Naturally, it does make the most sense, Seth and Reigns to be the feud that eventually ends the Universal Championship reign for Roman Reigns. So, but I unfortunately don't see it. Jay and Jimmy Uso are both good options, but personally, I think Jay should just be his own single star, and Jimmy, honestly, just don't come back to wrestling, or just help support Naomi. I believe he's the one that's married to Naomi. Like, help push her get bigger. Like, help her out. It would be great. But here's the thing: it wouldn't make sense for Jay Uso to do it because at this point, the best thing to do is like keep the family dynamic together. You could have Jimmy Uso feud with Jay Uso. That would be a great feud. I've been begging for that one. But no, I don't really want to see Jey Uso be the one to do it. And similar to Cesaro, I want to see Jey Uso in the mid card title picture before I see him in the world title picture again. Like I said, that feud with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso was fantastic. One of the best feuds I've ever seen in a long time. But at the end of the day, all that feud was to make Jey Uso a top main event player. But we still need to see him, arise. I want to see him win the IC belt. I want to see Jay and Roman win the tag team belts, and then they could do the 2-man power trip storyline where it's Reigns the Universal Champion, Uso the IC champion, and then they're the tag team champs. And if you want to eventually do Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, it has to be naturally at WrestleMania 37. Speaking of WrestleMania 37, the biggest match that people are talking about is Roman Reigns versus The Rock. I want to see this match. Does it need to be for the Universal Championship though? It's too big to be for the Universal Championship. This could honestly just be a regular one-on-one match similar to The Rock and Cena. It didn't need the world title at WrestleMania 28. That one makes sense. Honestly, I could see that one. This one, I don't really see it unless it's like they have no choice but to um bring back The Rock and try to get the Universal belt off of Reigns. Then that makes sense. But why would it be The Rock to dethrone him? All these guys who are around that could be pushed to the top. It wasn't the Rock. It was the Rock of all people. I feel like people would be upset, similar to CM Punk's title reign. Like it would be the same cycle and repeat. So naturally, you need a top babyface that one is going to be a megastar, and two is a likable face. The out of the ones I just named, Seth Rollins makes the most sense, but he's still a bit of an asshole, and it's gonna take forever for him to redeem himself. It'll take a while. So I would like that idea, but it's not quite the one that's ready. So I had a few guys in mind. So number one for me was Big E. Big E is set to be the future of this business. I could totally see WrestleMania 40 uh, being his moment. If you guys remember that video that I made, WrestleMania 40, who will probably take it. Big E was up in that list. I remember what my number one option was. Over time, I think that's never gonna happen. But Big E makes a lot of sense. A guy who's been working his ass off for all those years, like, he could possibly be it. Then again, I do want to see where else he could go before he faces Roman Reigns. I want to see the match, but there's still a lot of time to work on. So Big E could be a good option maybe for WrestleMania 37, but maybe not quite yet. Edge, I know deep down if he is the Universal Champion, he will stay in on TV as long as needed. He will not turn into a part timer like The Rock and Brock Lesnar. He won't do that. He will stick around. And plus, we never got to see the one-on-one match that we truly deserve. And naturally, I think at SummerSlam makes the most sense. He's like, hey, yeah, you got your little toe and toe with Daniel Bryan. You beat all these top guys, but you never went one on one with me. Let's do this. And there's talks and rumors that the big gold belt is coming back if Edge wins. I like the idea, but I would prefer them just owning up to the Universal Championship and doing it. How cool would it be if after a whole year of Roman Reigns being the champion, he changes the belt look? He actually makes it look cool for one. So I hope they do that. I really hope that the belt looks different now down the road because I don't know, the whole similar championship belts, it's really killing them. Um, Another guy, Alistair Black. Now, I know that the guy hasn't been the IC champion or the US champion or, been in any of the title pictures, but naturally this guy looks like a main event talent. He has the look, he has the charisma, he has it all, honestly. And he believably looks like he could beat Roman Reigns. And at one point, he was the one that's supposed to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36, not Drew McIntyre. So Aleister Black would be a great option after like all the betrayal and all the turns that they did on him. He says, "No way, I'm going back to be where I'm at, and that's the top." And based on how they're writing all of this, it makes the most sense, honestly. And finally, the last option I have is Keith Lee. Now, Keith Lee is currently on Raw, and he's not on TV as of recording because he is injured. However, at any point they could just say, "Fuck it, let's just bring Keith Lee to SmackDown." He could be a great draw. I will say this: I would have loved to seen Keith Lee be the U.S. champion and the IC champion before, but Keith Lee is a match that we've been wanting to see. Roman Reigns and Keith Lee has been teased since Survivor Series 2018, and we have just been begging for this match to happen. So Keith Lee is another great option. So yeah, those are the guys that I could see uh, toppling Roman Reigns. Uh, So there's Big E, Edge, Aleister Black, and Keith Lee. Three of those have never been a world champion in the main roster, at least. So those could be some good names as to who could do it. You could make the argument that the Fiend could use it. At this point, he does need it, but I think we're just done with the Fiend. I think he's just doomed from now on. He's basically Kane from 2004 through 2010, where he's just into a bunch of shitty ass feuds and he just goes with it. And down the road, he'll become a legend, even though his work, his storylines are stupid. So I think we're not gonna see the Fiend in the world title for a long time at least, or at least Bray Wyatt. So yeah, those are the options as to who could dethrone Roman Reigns. What are you guys' thoughts? Am I missing somebody? Let me know on the comments down below. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.